Good morning, welcome to the Fit to Flourish podcast. Let's talk wellness, finance, and growth.
What's up, guys? Mr. Fit to Flourish, and today I wanted to talk about what news affects the markets the most. So when I started trading, I realized, because I read a book called A Random Walk Down Wall Street. I'm going to show you all these resources, by the way, as well. So Random Walk Down Wall Street. All right, and let me pull this up on the screen for you. But I read a book called A Random Walk Down Wall Street, and it tells you that, hey, there's two types of traders, or two types of trading. So there's fundamental, and then there is technical. So there's fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and those are two types of trading. Fundamental kind of goes along the lines of like looking at a company's financials and then going like based off of that instead of looking at a chart. So looking at charts and stuff is like technical. Looking at fundamentals of a company or just waiting for news, that's more fundamental trading. Okay, so there are two different types of trading. If you put them together, you can go absolutely crazy. But when it comes to like the fundamental side or like the news side, when I first started trading, I was like, man, I kind of know the charts now, but sometimes this news will invalidate the charts immediately. Like news will kind of trump the charts a lot of the time. So if news comes out on like, oh, Tesla made a spaceship that's going to sell really big, then Tesla stock is going to go crazy. It's going to go up, even if the charts were going down for a very long time. So the news will a lot of the time trump the charts. So how do you know what news is going to affect the markets? So let's take a look at that. And by the way, I recommend this book right here, A Random Walk Down Wall Street by Burton Malkiel, if you're just getting into trading. Really good stuff. But what can you do? You can go to Twitter, all right? You can go to Twitter, and then you can do money sign, and then whatever your stock is, MSFT, you can click on that, and then it's gonna show you like in the feed, like the latest news or like what people are talking about when it comes to that stock. Okay, and then a person I recommend following is Walter Bloomberg on Twitter. He has all the latest news, but who cares? All right, who cares? What news matters? What news matters? So number one is going to be economic data. All right, economic data. Actually, I should have pulled this up as well. So market. And where do you find economic data? My favorite website is going to be MarketWatch. Okay, MarketWatch. Calendar, and it's basically the U.S. economic calendar on MarketWatch. Let me pull this back up for you guys. All right, so it shows you this week's major U.S. economic reports. So a lot of these reports kind of don't matter. Let me tell you which ones actually really do matter. Okay, the ones that do matter, well, we have ADP employment, a little bit, and then the main ones are going to be initial jobless claims right now, and the U.S. unemployment rate. All right. And then whenever Jerome Powell speaks, that matters quite a bit. Now let's kind of explain all of these. So what's going on? So why does all that matter? So all of that matters because when it comes to Jerome Powell, the Fed, they're basically setting the rates at which institutions like banks are borrowing money from each other, which then affects the rates at which you can borrow as a lender. So if you're paying a higher rate, on the money that you're borrowing, you're not going to have a lot of extra money to keep to yourself. So then you're not going to want to spend money on the markets. So then the markets are going down. Okay. But when they cut rates, when Jerome Powell speaks, he's the president of the Fed. When he cuts rates, then the rate at which you borrow money and businesses borrow money and banks borrow money, the rates go down. So you're paying less money to borrow. So then you'll have extra money to spend. And in that case, you're going to want to make that money work. You're going to have extra money on the side. You're going to be like, oh man, let me go get some crypto. So Bitcoin goes up, crypto goes up, and then the markets tend to go up. So if you hear rate cuts, markets are going up. If you hear rate hikes, markets are probably going to go down. Okay. And then what's going to affect the decision to do these types of things? Well, jobless claims. Okay. So if jobless claims are up, that's not good. Economy not doing so hot. Okay. So that usually will cause the markets to come down. And then U.S. unemployment rate If the unemployment rate goes up, no bueno. Okay, no bueno. So a lot of these things kind of show you like, oh, okay, the market's broken, what's going on. But these things can impact the market. And then sometimes if jobless claims are up, it depends on what's going on. But sometimes the market will like it. It's weird. But just understand jobless claims, unemployment rate, and when Jerome Powell speaks or when the Fed makes a rate cut decision. So when we hear FOMC, those are big times. Big days where the market will react pretty violently to those types of news, so economic data, okay, like this, all right? And then another thing that the market will react to is going to be price target upgrades and price cuts, and that's going to be specific to different stocks. So I'm going to share this tab instead, and we're going to go to if you go to TradingView, there's a lot of good stuff on the side here. But let's go, and I'm going to show you what's going to affect a stock. So here. So Phillips Securities adjusts price target on NVIDIA to 130 from 160. Now, I don't know if anybody knows Phillips Securities. It's pretty, I don't know who this analyst is, pretty trash. But if it's something like JP Morgan or what's some of the other the bigger analysts, okay? So when they adjust price targets on companies, people pay attention to that. So this price target adjustment was from 160 to 130. So that means they're cutting their outlook on NVIDIA. They're like, NVIDIA doesn't look so good. So people are gonna be like, oh no, these big analysts think it's not good. So that'll cause a lot of selling that same day. Okay, so be careful for that. But also, if like JP Morgan or a big company or analyst or bank gives an upgrade and like, oh, we're buying a lot of this company, we're gonna give it a price target upgrade to 190 instead of from 160. Price target upgrades are really good, and the stock will usually fly that day. Okay, so pay attention to that type of news. Okay, other news currently affecting the markets include things like the president talking about tariffs, because keep in mind when there are tariffs, that's like pretty much a tax on imported goods from other company, imported exported goods, whatever, from other companies or from other countries. So then that, since they're getting taxed, they're going to pass on that taxation to the consumer, which is us. So then the cost of goods is going to go up, which means we'll have less money to spend. So all the market is about like, hey, how much extra money do retail people and big hedge funds, how much extra money do you have to spend? Because extra money goes into investing and goes into risk on assets. Okay, they go into these assets. So whenever there's tariffs, it's like, oh, that's not good. Consumer prices are going to go up. So shit is going down. Shit is going downhill. Okay, so just kind of be careful there. So if you hear tariffs like right now by like our president, then no bueno. And then a lot of things that the president is saying or doing, if it affects the market, you'll pretty much know. All right. What else affects the markets? All right, we kind of went into a lot of that stuff. So negative press. So like Tesla. Oh, this is good. Actually, this is a very good example here. Tesla. So this actually happened today, March 5th, 2025. Here we go. Oh, while I'm looking for this, but basically another thing that affects the markets is when companies partner with other companies or spend money on other companies to develop something new that's going to help their revenue, or anything AI right now, AI and technology related is going to help the markets, especially in the year 2025. Okay, or it's going to help the stock. So it's going to cause the stock to go up, et cetera, et cetera. But some news like this is going to affect a company as well. Like Tesla's China-made EV sales are dropping. That's not good. As an investor, you don't want to hear that. So you're going to expect the company to do what? This is not an episode of Dora. What do you expect the company to do? I'm just kidding. But anyways, so if China's sales drop, then in turn, the company is going to lose value, and investors are going to sell. All right, they're going to sell, so the stock's probably going to go down. So things like that, I'm going to stop there. But a lot of those different types of events, news, things like that, those are going to affect the stocks that you're trading. So pay attention to those. I think I hit everything. So partnerships, economic data, the president's speaking on something, the Fed president talking, or FOMC, initial jobless claims, so economic data, I said that already. PCE, so personal consumption expenditure, CPI, consumer price index, PPI, producer price index. Those economic data points are really going to affect the market's non-farm employment, employment rate, unemployment rate, initial jobless claims, all going to affect the market. So hopefully this helps you if you're like, yo, what affects the market, what doesn't? Because I'll see a lot of people like asking like, oh, yo, is this going to affect the stock? Oh, what about this news? What about that news? And it's all just a bunch of fluff just for entertainment, or just so someone could keep their job writing an article. But these are going to be the main things that are going to move stocks. Okay, so anything else you can kind of cut out and be like now I can see news. It'll be like, oh, there's an investigation on Elon Musk and Tesla. It's not going to affect it. Or, oh, there's they do a lot of these investigations on these large companies, and they kind of say, oh, they're doing a monopoly, and then it all goes away because these companies have really good lawyers. So usually that stuff doesn't affect the company at all. But anyways, hopefully this really helped you today. It's your boy, Mr. Fit to Flourish, and I'm outie.